There were so many that lost their businesses during that time. Well, good morning. This is Becky Norwood with Spotlight Publishing. And today's interview, we're so excited because we have two, as we always do, as the formatting of our show, is one expert and one author. And we showcase both, and then we bring them together for a conversation based around some of the things that our expert teaches. Here at Spotlight Publishing, we work with many, many authors, and we're just delighted at the privilege of being able to bring so much wisdom, so much expertise, such amazing stories to the world. And the reason we enjoy this is because we feel that it is time for our world to hear the beautiful, impactful people that are coming and standing up and saying, this is what works for me, this is where I've been, what I've done, and I'm standing up and shining with the message that I have bring to the world. There's many, many things that an author needs to do, and one of the things that we have found is that authors, sometimes they don't understand that there's so much marketing that needs to be done to let that book serve as a tool for business growth, serve as a way to reach hearts, and serve as a way to grow your platform and showcase your expertise. And this is why we've created this show, is to get our message out that there's a lot of really amazing marketing tools that we can use all at our fingertips, not so hard to use, but just knowing what tools that are available to us, what techniques, what things that we can do without a lot of trouble and hassle, but how we can bring this to the world. So our first introduction today is to an author, and I'm going to put her in her banner in the background, and then I will introduce her. All right, so you saw from the cover of the book, and she has one on the wall behind her, and guess what I have here? Ta-da, ta-da! I have the hardcover of the edition.
Where did you get that?
Beautiful, beautiful book. It's an amazing book. So, oops, I don't know what I just did. Not sure what I just did there. This is Ingrid Essawova, and the name of her company is Simply True. Not only is she one of the authors that I was so excited to be able to work with, but we're also really good friends. We sometimes will spend a Sunday afternoon playing cards and sharing a meal together and just enjoying each other's company. And she also teaches some really cool classes and works with people one-on-one in her business. So Ingrid, tell us about you and what you bring to the world. What's your wisdom?
Oh, thank you, Becky. Well, first of all, I appreciate you having me on board. Thank you so much. And I am a spiritual life recovery coach and an intuitive here in Phoenix, Arizona, at the Urban Wellness Center. It's such a beautiful center. It's just so zen. And when clients come, they're like, oh, I've arrived.
I have arrived, and I've been there, and I love it.
to the whole different world out there. So basically, my job is to get people to their true, authentic self. And one says, like, what is the difference between true, authentic self and the one that I already am at? I mean, I'm thinking I'm at myself. Well, I got news for you. When you have anger, frustration, disappointment, sadness, worry, stress, doubt, fear, whether it's a combination of all of them, oh my, or just one, you are not yourself. So what we do is we disconnect from the motherboard outside of ourselves, where we put all the weight and all the value on people, things, concepts, weather, and we disconnect and we connect to ourselves, which is nothing but peace, contentment, and freedom.
I know that I myself have taken some of those sessions, and I know many of my friends that have as well. And it always, you walk out and you say, wow, that was just amazing. And, it really helps get you through to, to some of the things that, so we can serve better. When you can unload a lot of the extra stuff, then when we are doing things like this on a TV show, whatever, we're able to serve in a whole better way.
Of course.
And
And
that's
you have
what
to
you do.
understand, Becky, and to the audience, that we're not taught certain things. And we are taught a different way growing up, our parents, teachers, relationships, and the clients that come, they realize, wow, it's as if I have to like order a new mainframe. I have to absolutely rewire, because that's not the truth. Because, how is that all working for us? I mean, for a time where we are so advanced in so many things, we're just like Neanderthals and other. And look at the mental health issue out there, especially times like last year and current. That is an indication. That is a signal that, if you have a flat tire, would you bring up a folded chair and go, wow, look at that?
What,
See
what do
that?
we do with that?
I
Oh, look
see
at
that. Oh, wow. Like, hello, honey, call AAA. Or do it yourself. Unless if there's nails issues, never mind. So yes, let's take care of it. And obviously, what is the definition of doing something over and over and over and over again, and waiting for a different result?
a little bit of insanity.
Exactly.
Well, for those that are listening, this is a copy of The Emotional Dictionary to the Soulful Self. And Ingrid created this, and you can find it on Amazon. If you put in her name, Ingrid Essawova, or The Emotional Dictionary. Excuse me. You created it kind of like a dictionary as far as the terms and the different things, as different situations that a person is in, and how to kind of really look at it in an entirely different way. How did you come upon this work? Has it always just been a part of you?
It seems like it's been a minute. Yes. So about 25 years ago, I was reading a national bestseller book on sharing and something like that to my 2-year-old back then. Now she's like almost 25. And I was reading some of the things in there, and I was appalled. I'm like, that information creates this, and this, and why are people not seeing it? So for a little, we went to a trip to Dubai, and the haunting of the sounds of the prayers in the mornings across the land is just unbelievable. And I woke up and I was told, write a book. Not necessarily in that voice, but
It's
it was
something
more
that
like,
you could not ignore it, huh?
it wasn't quite write a book. And I'm like, write a book, honey. I fall asleep when I read. Never mind writing a book. So I decided to write a book for children. And I realized that I had to have a little part at the back for parents. So then suddenly the back pages became thicker and thicker, and I just put that down and I go, wait, I need to start with adults, because in order for children to manage and navigate and be wired a certain way, I think they need a participation of parents as well. Little minor detail. So I wrote the book. It was called, what the heck was it called? What is Your Honor Code? And so fast forward to 2020, decided to change the title, add about 8 chapters, because I kind of learned a thing or two since
Over
then.
the years, yes.
And the book was always bullet pointed, because, honey, we are busy. We need answers now. So may as well have it like a dictionary. So it's the emotional dictionary to the soulful self, all bullet pointed and brand new and improved with a butterfly transformation.
It's beautiful, and the process of even choosing your cover is quite a journey as well, because we want it to convey the very best that it can convey.
It was all Becky.
It's all your branding, though. It's your branding.
Yeah, it's my brand, but it was Becky. It's like colorful woman, colorful.
Yeah, it was like what? Red, black, and white. Yeah. Well, you're colorful. So, anyway, as you work with people and in your own transformation, as the years have gone by, you have grown tremendously. What would you say to somebody that's just, and this isn't working for me? How do you reach out to, start that conversation with them?
So when you're saying this is not working for me, meaning what they keep on doing over and over, it's just not working, right?
Right.
And,
right.
With this perfect segue to that is my ideal client, and the clients that I only accept because I'm very particular, because this is a very deep process, are the ones that say, I am done. I am done of the drama. I am done of repeating the same thing over and over and telling the same story about family, about myself, about friends, about what happened, the events, and let's go, let's shift, let's grow. And that is the flavor, the feel of my ideal client, and they come to me. I tell you,
much like my
wanting to make that difference, because you can't make a change unless you realize you can't afford not to.
That's
and
the key.
Otherwise, you are always in the perfect place every second of the day, whether you're ready, whether you're not. Timing is always divine. It's always perfect. No attachment to timing.
That's beautiful. So the book that you wrote, what was the process like for you to bring this book to the world?
Well, it was during a time where, at the time I was married, my husband and I started a company that really took 117 hours a week. So I was only able to do 10 minutes a day. And, that 10 minutes a day adds up. And 2 years later, the book was created. And I've been in corporate America for over 30 years back then. And I'm a problem solver, troubleshooter. So I love situations, love, because I know there's a solution. I know the bottom line. And like, again, I'm not the one that, sits with a folded chair going, did you see this flat tire? Hello, everybody, let's have a party. Right? We take care of that. So that was basically that process, and everything that I learned personally and professionally, and thinking, what are the repeated pattern of people in society that they keep repeating the same patterns over and over emotionally, and have those centered in my chapters.
You did a wonderful job of it. So how do you feel about your book as far as what has it done for your business?
Well, you know what? It adds an additional flavor, credibility, tool for people. I tell my clients, it's not mandatory. You don't have to buy the book. They buy the book anyway.
Do it.
And they always bring it with them. And they're like, sometimes I just like scroll through the pages. And I go, this one. And then it's exactly what I have to know for that particular day. And I go, yeah, absolutely. Whether you read it from the beginning to the end or you do it that way. And it's not so much for what it's done for me, but it's what it's done for other people, how it's impacted. And it's been a minute, right? It's been just a little bit over half a year since I had my launch. And there are people that bought it and haven't touched it, and then opened it up about 4 or 5 months later, and they're like, wow, or read it all and started reading it again and realized was that there before?
It wasn't there before.
But it's because you are ready to hear certain things. So very impactful, so blessed.
Do you feel that people look at you a little bit differently that's because you have a book?
Not the people that my circle of people and clients.
Right.
Because we really understand ego. And when you are that is more ego driven. And when you're in the soulful self, it's just a matter of whether myself to other people or other people to myself, how can I grow? How can I be more mindful? How can I be more aware? And I think that the more information they're able to have, the more tools that they're able to have, I think we all love each other even more. The book has brought more love. Because there's more information for them to heal, and when you heal and you connect, you're more yourself, and when you are yourself, you actually have an abundance of unconditional love, so you're already tapping into it, and that's why they love me.
And
I love them.
That's awesome. And usually a book serves as a tool for business growth, and that's why I asked that question: is it that impression of, wow, you're an author too? Type of thing. But I understand what if
they look at it that way, so be it. But I just believe that the most important thing is, wow, another tool where I might understand it in a healthier, productive way. Another tool that it can reach me. So I have my aha moment.
Very, very good.
Yeah, I look at it more that way.
Well, and that's a beautiful way to look at it. And it's the right way to look at it. It's one of those things that it's, I think about it because I have picked up this book numerous times, probably should pick it up a few more times, many more times. But it is something that in those quiet moments that if you need to reach out, and having it or not having it, there's without that tool, it's, I'll survive. It's not something a life or death matter, but it sure is wonderful to have it as a tool set.
Exactly. And whether it was only one person that was going to buy that book or a million, I've done what I needed to do, because if it impacted just that one person, they themselves impact family, work, and then they impact other people, and so on and so forth. But I think more than one was sold.
Yeah, I think so. And it is a ripple effect, is what I call it.
And I understand how books can add credibility and all that, but we at Simply True just kind of navigate in a different realm. It's not better, it's not worse. It's just different, and it fits with my business.
That's awesome. Beautiful. Well, this has been a beautiful interview. I don't want you to go away. We're going to take a little bit of a break.
Right here because I love you.
I love you too. And for those that are listening, be sure and pick up a copy. There's a link, it's scrolling below. But pick up a copy of that. And Ingrid will be right back. We're going to go into a little bit of a break, and then we're going to bring in our expert, and then we'll bring all three of us together for some final wrap up and conversation at that point. So we will be right back. All right. So our
I'm sitting here jiving with the
no,
music.
I love that music. It's so awesome.
It's pretty
So
good.
Bruce,
Sounds good.
happy to have you back today for this conversation. So Bruce Jones is also a very dear friend of mine. He's in Connecticut. I'm in near Phoenix, Arizona. And we connected through both of us attending some of the same classes. We're in the Publishers Mastermind together. But over the years, Bruce has served in so many ways just to help me understand little glitches that come about. There's a lot of working parts that go into publishing a book. And that didn't start with my area of expertise. I have not been doing it for years and years like you have, Bruce. And so sometimes these things come up and I'm going, oh no, what do I do? But today's topic is on how to connect with influence in your market. And we know that we have book launches, we have all kinds of things when we publish a book, and we want that attention to go to the book. There's a lot of work that goes into publishing for the author. But then how do you get that book seen, read, and affecting the hearts that we really want to reach? And that's the topic of today's conversation and some of the strategies that Bruce is using. And he's always in the background, just really testing and trying a lot of the things that the leaders are teaching and then perfecting it in his own special way due to the years of experience he's had in the world of publishing. So without further ado, Bruce Jones, let's have this conversation.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's kind of rainy, dreary day today here, so it's a good way to brighten it up.
And our sun is really shining pretty, as you can probably see.
It will eventually wiggle its way all the way to here. So, so what I wanted to talk about was sort of it's a long-term strategy that every author should be doing. Actually, anybody who is trying to position themselves online can do this. It's just authors, but it's building and connecting yourself to the influencers in your market. So we all have people at the top of our markets. There are A people, B people, C, D, there's all different levels, and there are people who have much larger audiences than we have. So one of the important things as you start out on the path of writing is to build your platform, and your platform are your friends, your family, your email list, your Facebook people, your Twitter connections, your people that work with you. You're trying to get as large an audience as you can when you're ready to launch. And one of those audiences, if you can do it, and you can, is connecting yourself with the influencers that are in your market, that lead your market, that are the thought leaders, the celebrities, the popular people. So that's what I'm talking about. And what I'm going to do is show you, just talk a little bit about it here, and then I'm going to show you, I'm going to go in and we're going to pick a topic. In fact, I often use fly fishing. I have no idea why I use fly fishing, but Becky, I'm going to have you just give me. I always go fly fishing. This is all right if you're writing a fly fishing book. I've had one person teach me how to cast. That's as much fly fishing as I have done. But actually, what I'll do is I'm going to have you give me a topic, and then so it's a topic that I'm not familiar with at all. And then we'll go in and show you how to kind of do that. So what you want to basically do is you want to put together a list of people that you know of, and we all know people in our market. So Becky, just give me a topic of an industry that's not fly fishing, something that I can.
Okay, so what about my author that launched last week? The name of their book was Outwitting the Manipulator.
Okay.
So let's take that as an example.
Okay. And what industry is she in?
Her and her partner teach speech improvement, but the manipulation part is the techniques that, if you're in the moment, on how to be able to really change it. It's not saying that the person that's doing the manipulating is wrong. It's a bad person. It's just maybe that's just how they learn to operate in the world. But sometimes for a person to know how to overcome it, it may be totally affecting them differently than what was intended. But how to kind of raise your own awareness of what to do in this.
Could it be public speaking? Could we use that as the topic? Yeah. Okay, just so I have something to kind of. The fly fishing is very very concrete. This is a little more. So this is a little more.
Let's not do that.
Oh, good. You gave me a challenge. So basically, we all have competitors. We all know people who are in our market. So there's going to be some people that you probably know right off the top of your head who are also teach this same subject. None of us are unique. So you're basically going to put together a list of these people. So I would start with those people just to get yourself started. And the goal is to try to build a group. Some people call this the Dream 100 list of influencers, but that's a lot of people. 5, even 1, but just 5. And these are people that you're going to connect and try to get them to notice you. They have bigger audiences than you, and you're going to try to link to them and get them to see you, and maybe you can enter into their world and you piggyback on their stuff. So one is just to kind of know who these people are. We're going to go into Amazon and a couple other places in a moment here and try to dig out who these people are. They're going to be A, B, C, and D people. You may not be able to connect with Kim Kardashian, but in the fashion world, there are people you can connect with. And D and C people want to become C and B and A people. So there are people rising up and people coming down. So people will connect with you on many, many levels, and you may not be able to get to that person, but you'd be surprised. People do. And one of the ways to try to connect with a person who's way bigger than you are is if you follow them, you watch what they do, they are all releasing new products. They might be releasing a new book, a new perfume, a new thing, a new course. That's the moment when they are in PR publicity mode, when they are open for you to grab them. So everybody has a moment that you can get. So one is put down the rough list of people. Then we're going to go search a moment here for people in the public speak improvement market. You want people to have a bigger footprint than you, so a bigger audience that you have. And then you're going to go out and you're going to connect with them in all their different places. So social media is our tool for this. So you will look for them on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, YouTube. They're going to be somewhere. If they're public, they're somewhere. And we can connect with them for free. It doesn't matter. You just connect. You're connected. You give them a like. And then it's a process of slowly wheeling them in to your world and getting them to see you. Think of it as dating. That's an analogy that a lot of people use. You can't just walk up to someone on the street and ask them to marry you. You kind of have to slowly wheel them in. You might find they hang out at a bar. You go to that bar. You might try to take the same course, whatever you're going to slowly say hi. And that's maybe all you do for a month. This is a long-term thing. You're not going to, though people can do it relatively quickly. You're looking at this for a long-term to build a relationship with people and to elevate yourself into that world. Once you are connected to them through their social media, then you can start to make them aware of you. So that's done by liking their posts. And what you'll find in the Instagram world, you're going to be sort of invisible if there's 25,000 other people liking their stuff. But in the Twitter world, maybe they don't have that many people liking their stuff. And if you do this nicely and constructively, you will start to be noticed. So you'll start to like their stuff for a while, and maybe you'll you'll comment, make some casual comments, constructive comments. One of the tactics is to buy their products. So if they have a book or they have a course, it's basically you're putting yourself into their world. So, buy their stuff and comment on it. Use their stuff. Share their stuff. If they have videos on YouTube, share them on your blog, in your world, on your Twitter feed. Make good comments about them. So you're slowly just sort of, you could take this as being kind of sneaky also.
But it's also easing into.
It's easy.
Because I totally love it when people will, if we're doing our Facebook or YouTube lives or we're doing a show like this, I love it when people comment and it gives you a knowingness that there's somebody actually listening to this, and when you first start a platform, it starts small, and it needs to be grown. So this is really cool. And I always tell the authors, the marketing starts the minute you put pen to paper.
Right. And you may, I was going to just say, I had a thought here about it. You're going to, most people don't comment. Most people don't make anything. So you will start to stand out. You will start to be noticed if you're treating this tactic or this game nicely, where you're liking their stuff, commenting, making constructive comments, supporting what they're doing, and sharing this stuff. You will start to get noticed by somebody. And if they have a team, they'll start to notice you because they're tracking all that. But as you can hear, a little cash register. If you have success, you can. I don't know if you can hear that noise. I get the little announcements when people buy stuff. So, and then you just kind of just keep increasing them. So the challenge is, so it's connect, like, comment, build a relationship. Buy their products is a great way to support them, showing that often if they're selling a product, especially if it's a course or something, you're actually in their world. You will probably be part of their program. You'll get to talk to them. You'll get to go see them once we all get back to going to see people. So that's the process. And what I want to just do is just go through, say, okay, I don't know any people. How am I going to do this? I know one person, in this world. So I'm just going to screen share.
You want to screen get out of the picture so that you can take over the screen.
Oh, I wonder if I can just do it here. Screen share, share screen, and I'm just going to go here. Let's see. Can we put that? There we go. Okay. So I'm just going on Amazon. And so this is a process that I have used and to kind of work our way in. I'm just here on Amazon, and I'm just going to go look and try to find names of people. So one of the easiest ways, especially in the author world, is I'm just going to put in, here's my little list here. So we'll just put in books on public speaking. Or, yeah, let's just do that because it's probably the easiest thing. So books on public speaking. And what you'll notice as you start to type into Amazon is the drop down of all the other categories that are sort of around this topic. And you'll see that these are all places you can sort of search for people. And I'm just going to go, let's just try this one, Public Speaking for Success. And what you'll have are books on speaking and presenting yourself. So right away, I now have some names of people. And you'll notice some of these people are dead, but some of them are alive. And I now have several names of people. And the goal here is to sort of look and see who is leading. How does Amazon feed these up? And I can look at books that have a lot of comments or a lot of reviews are probably more popular. So that one had 111. This one has 3. So let's just go Speak with No Fear. That seems to apply to what Becky was talking about. So, and it has 476 comments. So let's see if we can just go to this book. And this is just going to be a discovery process. So I have a name, Mike Acker, right? So right here's Mike Acker. So 2 seconds ago, I had no idea who Mike Acker is. Now I know I know about a little bit about Mike Acker. I'm going to go to their Amazon author page. And here's Mike Acker. So leadership coach, author, speaker, speaking. Okay. So, and now I have a website. Here's Mike Acker's website right here. This is why your Amazon Author Central is so important. If people are researching you, you can go. So let's go check out Mike Acker's website and see what he has there. So we'll just put that in. And here's Mike Acker's website. So right away, now I know if I'm going to connect with this person, here's his Twitter, he's on Instagram, he's on Facebook, and he's on YouTube. I can probably somewhere subscribe to his newsletter. That's a great way to start to learn about him. And there we go. I'm already in his world, right? I can quickly jump into his world. If I come back to his book, if you'll notice, you just come down here, you'll notice that Amazon threw up some other books. So Practical Guide to Breathwork. So that's probably a pretty good one. So here's another person, Jesse Krum. So I could very quickly pull together a list of people that I can sort of research and figure out who they are and what they do. I'm going to just take Mike Acker just for the moment because it seemed all right. I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to do Mike Acker. Let's see what we have here. I think there he is. Speak No Fear, Speak Without Fear. So I'm already now learning about him, his books, what he does, his websites. So to me, if I was in this market, this might be a good person for me to start to look at. If I put in here public speaking without fear, I'm now getting some phrases that seem to work. Just looking at the titles of the books. PAR, without fear. And I'll search on that. And up come lots of websites and things that I can look at. You'll also find this right here. So one, I have steps and areas that I can work with. I can add these into my own book, these areas. There are also search terms to help me look for people that are in this. I have this area. People also ask. It's a fantastic area to look for things that go on and other resources. All right. And I have videos. So I'm starting to see a world of other people. And you'll notice I have other names here that will help me sort of find the people in my market that I can connect to. If I come over to YouTube, I'm going to put in we'll just stick with Mike Acker for a moment. Mike Acker. I can sort of see what he's doing and start to look at his video views, right? 10,000 views is pretty good. 7's not, he's not great, but he has some stuff. So that's a place I can sort of look. I can do something like here. Let's see, speaking without fear. So now I have a number of people that I can see. So here are more people. Matt Abrams might be a good person to look at. So these are all the people in this market that are leaders, that are ahead of me in views, ahead of me in an audience, and I can connect with them through all the different social media and start to be aware of them. And YouTube just feeds them up. They're all right here. And also topics along like what I'm doing. Another thing that I did, I don't know if there's a conference, but I'm just going to go back to the fly fishing for a second. I discovered this is a great way to find people really quickly. Every industry, well, let's just do conference. Conference on public speaking. So you can find a conference that's going on. And you'll find videos of people who are speaking at public speaking. But if I go to something that's a little more specific, let me see, championship. If you look up something like a championship, let's just do, I'm going to go back to the fly fishing for a second. Fly fishing championship, what you'll get are videos about these topics, and you'll get lists in the videos of all the people who are the champions at that industry. So here are the fly fishing champions, and you could do this, I don't know what it would be, I'm just sort of being conscious of time also. But if I come into this video, the fly fishing championship video, and we'll just pause that when it gets started, and I watch this video, let's see if we can get it started, in Italy. So there's going to be an American one. Every industry has a championship of some kind. But if I go through this video, I will see the award winners. They will put them all on stage. The names will be there. So I can very quickly, you notice this picture right here, right? So these are all the top people in fly fishing. Let's just try public speaking. I don't know if they have championships for public speaking. But you'll see, you can get the names of all these people, and you can very quickly, world champ, look at this, world champion. Now, you may not be able to get hold of this guy, but there is a world championship for public speaking. Look at that. Toastmasters. So I'm getting more and more clues of places I can go. So I'm seeing Toastmasters International. So I could do Toastmasters Championship. And I'm going to get all kinds of people. So it's a technique of, let me come out of this. Oh, you can also do it on Instagram too. If I come to Instagram, I can put in public speaking. And I'm going to get public speaking tips. I'm going to get, if I look through these, you're going to find which ones are getting the highest numbers. These are all about the same. So I could sort of start to follow some of these people. He's getting 546. So again, I can find people. I can also look at their videos. I mean, look at their Instagram posts and look down in the post. Most people do this. They put in some kind of hashtags. So again, these are more clues on places I can go to find people that are in my industry. So I can put in whatever hashtag I want, just click on this, and I will now get people who are in my industry. Look at this, 3-day presentation of power, 3,000 likes. So this is one that I would probably go look at and try to figure out who are these people that are right here. And now I have a place to connect with them. And then you just go through the whole process of bringing them in. So it's just a technique of, one, researching your market, figure out who your people are, who the A, B, C, and D people are, and then connect, like them, comment, do it, and get yourself in front of them, get them to notice you, so that when you're ready to release a book, they may already be aware of you, or their team is aware of you. You get an interview on their site if you can. Like, you could probably get them to come to you if you're doing a podcast or doing a broadcast just like this. But if you can get them to interview you on their platform, you're going out in their world. My world might be 1,000 people. Their world might be 30,000 people. And you're getting that sort of stamp of approval because you're coming through their channel as opposed to them coming through your channel. So
that's really good. Very, very valuable information. And, I've oftentimes, when I'm working, especially in my VIP sessions with my authors, and when they're kind of at the beginning stages of writing a book, that I do the same kind of process to help them to find topics that are like, go to Amazon and look at what the reviews are. What are they saying about that topic matter? And what are they saying that maybe not so much the 5-star, because that's usually coming from people that know, love, and trust them. Yeah.
4 and 2. Those are the two. Number 4 and 2. Yeah.
And that's usually when people will say, this was really good, but I felt like this was missing or whatever. And that is often, I'm working with a lady on her book right now, and she's been kind of struggling with different phases of how it's a 4-book series on being bold in leadership. And she was kind of really struggling with the pulling all the pieces together that she wanted. So I did that same type of strategy, because I've heard you present this before.
Right.
Same type of strategy to help her to come up with content for her book.
Yeah, it works really well. I mean, there's the table of contents in Amazon. So go to the look inside, see inside feature, and look at the table of contents, which pretty much you can get at any book that's on Amazon. And you'll go, oh, I forgot about that topic. You're not copying, you're getting influence. Oh, yeah, I should make sure that's included. The Amazon reviews there's real gold in the Amazon reviews. And it's the 4 and the 2. So the 4 is, I liked it, but I didn't like this one thing, which tells you, okay, make sure I don't do that one thing. Make sure I do it differently. And the 2s is, this wasn't a great book, but they did this thing. And you're like, okay, what was that thing that they did? And they're pain points. They're pain points that are in all these books, and you kind of write down what people like or not like about the books. People also ask feature on Google, which is fairly new over the last year, is really powerful. You can, you just put in how to do something. So phrases to search on how to, best of, top 10, top 5. There's a million people put up a lot of information around those topics. And you can then look at the people also ask and see, that's Google crowdsourcing all of the searches and putting it together into one really, really pithy title, which you can use for blog posts, your own blog post title, chapter titles, sections of your book, videos, whatever, those titles. So that's how people are searching. That's how Amazon is seeing the world, is from those titles. So
right.
It's really, really strong. So.
Well, this is pretty powerful. I'd like to open up the conversation so that Ingrid could participate as well. She's in a kind of a different world as far as she's not as much online as she is, although she does do a lot of interviews and a lot of different things, and it really is building her presence in a lot of amazing ways. And so let's open up the conversation about the value of this and how it will serve us not only to grow our following, but also to have a much better reach in the world, to expand out to the people that don't even know we exist, but need to hear our message. So let's open up that conversation. So for you, Ingrid, like we're all sitting here going, who wants to
Oh my
speak? So Ingrid, I know that you are you're being showcased on a number of different shows, and I think you mentioned recently that you also have a radio show.
No, that I will be going on the radio
Okay.
soon. That I'll be going on the radio. But yeah, I'm very different, and I'm very blessed that my business thrives on referrals. And it was wonderful what Bruce has been saying now for the past little while, and I'm going to be looking into that. I was last night in a place where I met a Facebook group leader in the sauna with our masks on, and we were talking about something that she had on, and then that sort of struck one conversation after another, and she has a large group on Facebook following, and this is a beautiful segue into what I've just been thinking for the past 12 hours, is getting myself into different social media groups which specialize in enlightenment, spirituality, and connection. And I'm going to be doing that a lot more, just to get the word out. And why not?
Yeah. One of the things I would look at, I don't know whether on your website you have a resource page or you have a Facebook group around your topic, but this technique is a really great way to sort of find the content to put into those areas. So you can take, I have found on the resource page on my website is one of the highest trafficked pages on my sites. Google loves resources, and you're kind of like, well, what do I put on there? Well, what you put on there are the resources of your industry, the people, your tactics, your tools, all that kind of stuff. And you can find people who are leaders. I always try to share anybody that's good in my industry. I don't try to keep them away as it's just my stuff. I try to share all of the stuff. And so you can go out and search, like, who would I share in my resource page? Like, this is a great technique for this, and this is a great technique for that. You go on Amazon under YouTube and you find videos on those topics, and they can be added. They become you find blog posts, link them to your site. I used this technique a lot when I was building my Facebook group. I have a large group on self-publishing. At the beginning, I didn't have anybody. So what I did is I went out and I built sort of a little network of blogs and people that I followed. They were posting really good content on publishing, and I just reshared it. So while I was building my audience and getting things going, I built my world around other people's content, and I picked people I thought were really good at, like, talking about marketing, talking about publishing, talking about design, whatever it was, and I just shared that content. And so instead of willy-nilly picking people, I picked people that I thought that really contributed to the self-publishing world. And so I did that on Facebook, and that built the group until I mean, you can't write all this content, you just don't have the time. But you can certainly share other people's stuff really well. And you're connecting is that you're sharing. So there's many ways to use this. You may not be trying to connect with that person. You might just be sort of sharing their content for your audience. So it becomes really valuable to do it.
That's really cool, because when I actually had a conversation about this with somebody and with an author actually, and she says, well, aren't you afraid of the competition? And I'm like, this is way too big of a world to be afraid of competition, because each one of us have the personality, like our way about us, that we're going to attract the ideal people to us that need to be in our world. And sharing is just showing that confidence, actually, and showing that you really know your stuff. You associate. It's putting yourself in the realms of the same people that may be teaching exactly the same thing, but it's a perception that you kind of rub shoulders with the experts. It's just what people in general will look at. Is this person the right one that I want to work with? So it's really some excellent tips on this that you're sharing with us, Bruce, and it's something I have not been implementing, which was interesting because I did not think about, I've got all these wonderful interviews I'm doing. I should be doing some more on the background, is linking these up with what's going on,
Right. And as I said earlier, a way to get into somebody who is like, you can reach out. Almost everybody is willing to do an interview. So if you sort of connect with somebody and you sort of like their stuff, and you figure out that person would fit, pretty much everybody understands this right now. What we're doing right now, everybody's getting it. And if that person says no, well, then just go to the next person. It's not like, just go to the next one. And there's a lot, and especially if you're sort of an abundance mindset where you're sort of exposing to everywhere, and you can bring them into your world, and you learn a lot of stuff. And I don't worry about competition at all. They're either going to like me or they're not going to like me. And I fit for some people, and I don't fit for the vast majority of people, because it's Facebook, there's 2 billion people, so you can't win. So don't worry about it. Just keep on moving. But what I was going to say is, if you're not connected with them, you don't know when they're releasing their new products. You don't know when their new book is coming out or their new course. That's a great way to sort of connect with them, because now they are in the PR mode. They are like, I got to talk to as many people as I can mode, and you can reach out and bring them into your world during that little window. There's a window there. And if you're connected to a whole bunch of people, one of those people is always releasing something at some point, and you can, and it's amazing. Some of these just become nice interviews.
I have been kind of brewing in my head, because it's funny. I'm in publishing, have worked with lots and lots of authors, but I don't have a book about publishing. And I have other books, but not one on publishing. Yes, how to sell a book. But what I've been thinking about is, I work with you, I work with a number of people, and they're all people that support authors in one way or another with really good comments, is doing a compilation type of book where we showcase that. And what that does is then that book can serve, they're sharing it, I'm sharing it, everybody's sharing it. And I'm thinking that's going to be my best answer, because as busy as I am, the thought of writing an entire book is like, that's too much. But what the value of that is the wealth of information and how you're serving the world by bringing together a fabulous combination of people that can really share the most value for those that, in the publishing world, I see so many authors that they publish and we get them to bestseller, and it's all so exciting and it's wonderful. And then their books are not selling. Why? Because they're not promoting it. They're not talking about it. Nobody knows that it exists. And there are, even though it's like a little tip of the fingernail as far as the people that are publishing, it's still growing massively as far as the number of people who are using books as a tool to get exposure. And so this is really invaluable information. And this is kind of the strategy that I'm putting on in the background, is knowing that I can write and bring a book to the world that's going to really serve those that need the information as to, how do I do this? How do I get my book out there? And these are valuable, wonderful tips. And that's the whole idea of this show, is to support authors to really use the tool sets that are available to us. Really valuable.
Yeah, one of the things that you're talking about competition, my goal is always just to try to move the person on to the next step, to move them along. Like, they may come to me for a question, whether I have the answer or not. They're just looking for an answer. And so I always try to find what's the best solution, whether it benefits me or it doesn't benefit me, is to move them on down the line to get to the solution of their problem. Because and so few people will actually give people, constructive answers to questions. You start standing out. It's amazing. People will come back. You weren't the solution for today's question, but you might be the solution for tomorrow's question.
Well, and I have watched you build your audience doing that same technique, and I see the people that are saying, wow, that was really good. Thank you for sharing. But those are always the ones that will come back and know that they can trust you for the advice that you're providing. And I think that no matter what the topic, no matter where our excellence shines, that's a really good strategy because you're giving and you're participating and you're being there. And maybe you never know, they'll circle right back around and say, hey, could you help me with this project? Or can we do something that will make a difference in the world? And you've taught me so much.
Well, do you have a positive mindset or a negative mindset?
Right.
Is your mindset of sharing and helping people, or is your mindset of shutting people out and being mean, or just, I don't want to talk to you? and it's so much easier to be I have a solution here. Let me take 2 seconds and here's the answer. It's such a nicer place to be than say you can't connect with me and tell me stuff.
I had to laugh because I think I said to that person, have you ever driven the freeways around Phoenix? Competition, are you kidding me? There's a lot of people out there in this world. There's so many out there, and it just mind boggles to think that there could be, to think in that kind of a mindset. So it is an abundance mindset.
Yep.
So Ingrid, any closing thoughts as we're down to the last 4 minutes of our show? Any closing thoughts on this whole process and what we've discussed? And now I put you on the spot.
No, it's fine. I love being put on the spot. No problem. This is knowledge is wealth. Knowledge is power, and it could be just this one thing that Bruce or yourself had said that sparked, and it's who you're reaching, and it's not more looking at your glass half full than half empty, and
we lost her. We lost her.
The vagaries of live publishing, live marketing. So it's I love that thing that she had said earlier. I was thinking, that's a cool thing. Is dig in, go pick a bullet point. I thought it was a great little phrase. I don't really know what her. Yeah, I was just saying, Ingrid. I was talking about your book. You had made the phrase about go pick a bullet point. I thought that's a great. Go pick a bullet point somewhere in the book today, and that's the thing that you're going to do.
That's right, because we just love bottom line.
Yeah.
And remember, even though our audience is listening, if it resonates today, great. But something maybe next week will resonate, and you'll get to it. But just remember, we have such a vast. Just like, have you seen the highways in Phoenix? Vast world. I mean, it's just in a lifetime we can't take. If we just taken care of a set of people, we won't be complete. So competition, nah. Have that niche though. Have that little niche. What makes you different from the next person?
Absolutely. Well, we're totally delighted with being the conversation and what's what we've been able to bring, the wisdom you two bring to the world, and thank you for this fun and really good information. And for those that are listening, tune in. We're every Monday and Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. That's Mountain Time. And listen, because each week we bring new authors. Each week we bring new experts. We kind of circle around. This is the second time, I think, Bruce. The first show we won't count. My internet kept going out like 5 times during the show. I'm like, done. But each time we bring new expertise to the world and fresh thoughts. And there's such a wealth of beautiful information coming to our world. And thank you both for being here. Thank you to our listeners. And now we will see you on Friday.
All right. Thanks, Becky.
Thank you. There were so many that lost their businesses during that time. There we go. Thank you.
So the only thing I would recommend is the volume on your commercials is so loud.
I know. I don't know how to turn it down.
Oh, it's just like, ooh.
I know. Somebody created that for me, and I have no clue how to turn it down.
I turn them down. I wonder if there's a volume thing in.
I know it just about breaks my ears every time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to make this different.
Gotta be a way to do it. So I don't know. There must be a volume somewhere, but
I'm like, whoa.
okay. As long as you know. So
Yeah, I've got to figure that out. I have no clue what to do with that.
all right. Okay.
Okay.
So
Alrighty.
I might. You know, what you could do. You put those videos in, right?
I do. I have them over here in my branding section.
I don't know whether you have a video editing program.
I do. I could probably do it that way.
I'd go into there and just turn the volume down, just knock
Okay.
it down by half. Probably half or at least something. But yeah, I would just reopen them up in there, knock it down, just re-export the video back out again. That might be
Good idea. Because my brain might like, oh.
I know, it's like whoa.
Yeah.
And your shows. So what's the process? You post. So when do they become live? I did share one of them.
They become live on the E360 TV platform, which goes to all kinds of platforms. It goes to Roku and all of those. And then I also broadcast them live from my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. There's supposed to be a way I can get it on LinkedIn, but I just haven't figured out. I have not been able to get my StreamYard to LinkedIn.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it. I would just share them off of YouTube.
Yeah.
So
I automatically goes live to all those places. Right. And when I do my author, just only an author, I link to their pages too.
Okay, because I was picking up one. I want to, anyone that I'm in, I want to just reshare it into my world.
I can. What I'll do is I'll download this as soon as it processes it, and I'll put it in that Google Drive.
Or I can just take it off of YouTube.
Okay.
I just take it off of YouTube. I don't need to repost it. I'll just grab it. I didn't realize we were on YouTube, so okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, all right.
Good interview. You did a good job. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, what? Okay.
Quick. Do you have a moment to get on Zoom? It will only take. I just have one quick question.
Yeah. So let me go to Zoom. Okay, I'll leave this and go get your link on Zoom.
Okay.